Selby's time, breaking down the stories every view will unwind. From left to right, we'll see the light. It's balance, we're chasing, no fighters fight. Curtis Selby, talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby, keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. Insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby, keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The convo's unique. Curtis Selby, talking it straight. Let's hear both sides, let's communicate. Politics and reason, let's find the truth. Curtis Selby's here to bridge it for you. Debates, insights, it's all on the screen. Curtis Selby, keeping it keen. Hit subscribe, stay a while, let's dive in deep with Curtis Selby. The combos you need. The combos you need. The combos you need.
Hello, everybody. Excuse me. It's I, Curtis Selby, your tired midnight blogger. What blogs in this case at 4:33 p.m. We're going to continue talking about the things, the societal elements that are creating challenges for the young. Some of them, I would argue, are unprecedented. Others may have precedent, but still need to be taken into account. Hold on one second, I need to sneeze. See, I am a professional blogger. I even muted myself when I sneezed. You should be so impressed. Trying something I haven't tried before. I am, I think and hope, on Rumble. Yes, it does look like I am streaming on Rumble, and I'm also attempting to stream on Facebook. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to keep a look at that stream. 3 streams for everyone, while the various platforms keep me juggling. Let's see, one of them is showing some noise. Let me see if I can get that silenced. Yes, there we go, there we go. Alrighty, we're hopping and popping today. I guess people do want to hear about the young. Before I get too far, I'll do the housekeeping things that everybody does. I need to get into the habit. Please, if at some point in this video you feel like I've earned your support, please like, share, subscribe, maybe even consider becoming a member. I want to say the membership started $1.99 or maybe 99 cents. I can't remember. I got them as cheap as they would let me go. So, anyhow, I also want to talk about, I have a goal. Yes, I'm becoming a big money aggrandizer person, partly because I'm scared and desperate. But we have a goal, any 5 super chats, and I will sing, or actually I won't sing. I will invite Sean Connery on here to sing Crazy Train. You don't have to kill your budget. You can simply do a 99-cent super chat, or if you're eager to do it, maybe do 5 99-cent super chats. And I will get Sean Connery to come in here and sing Super Crazy Train for you. Lastly, I have a poll on YouTube. I don't know how to set them up on Rumble or Facebook. What should we do for the next stream? Do a watch party of 47 Ronin? Do a Donkey Panda? Which, as you all know, is where I pretend like I've changed sides when I haven't really. Talk about Ryan Walters, the education Oklahoma guru, or do a Q&A. And it's a tight race right now. Watch party of 47 Ronin is in the lead. 38% of you want that. 31% of you want to talk about Ryan Walters, and 31% of you want to do a Q&A. Never done a Q&A before, but my young friends say that they're popular. I guess that I'm popular. Okay, sorry. I apologize for that one. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat and then dive into the topic of the day, part 2 of the challenges being faced by the young. We started off strong today with Connie Cleary, faithful bird woman of YouTube. Please check out her channel. She's got soothing music accompanied by cute little animals, mainly birds, but not exclusively. She also has her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions, where she does crafty things, interviews, watch parties. She's got all these wonderful people, so check her out and you will be glad you did. Here I am talking about how Connie, at the time at least, was number 1. Let's check that before I get too far ahead. Top fans. At the beginning of this thing is actually now, she slid to number 3. We've got DJ Ronnie G at number 1 with 75 XP. Words and Pictures at 75 XP with number 2 with 75 XP, and Connie Cleary sunk to number 3 arbitrarily because I can't figure out how they determine these things with 75 XP, and there's like 3 other people with 75 XP. Let's just go ahead and go back to saying hello to everybody. People are piling in. I'm gratified. Wow. I guess I picked the right time for a change. Matt Cheatwood, hail and well met. One of the people who inspired this topic. He sent me the video that I'm going to lean really heavily on, the TED Talk about how the U.S. is destroying young people's future. Thank you very much for being here and for the contribution. Excuse me. All right, people saying hello. Jeff B, hail and well met. Thank you for being here. Words and Pictures, evening Connie, evening to everybody. Thank you for being here. Everybody saying hello to everybody. And Enigma Severus Cortito, being Cortito, and it is Enigma, being Enigma. God bless and well met. Check out this gentleman's channel. He also does some wonderful work with tribute videos, movie reviews, and he also has a channel teaching you how to speak Spanish. Words and Pictures voted 47 Ronin, thinking the 1941 version, haven't seen the newer version. Yes, maybe I should have made that clearer. It is the newer version. I have not seen the 1941 version, but I may try to find that and put that on a poll soon. We have Real Way Nation Gaming Clips in the house. Check him out. He's got those gaming clips that are so fun to watch. please check him out. While you're at it, maybe check out DJ Ronnie G. He's got all kinds of fun videos on his channel, informative and entertaining. Check him out. And we've got PvP, who's been sharing with me how bad things are going on in Canada. I thought about putting that on there as a topic. But y'all let me know, and we'll see what we want to talk about. If enough people chime in the chat, we might change it from what the poll is. Because I'm a crayfisher, that's why. Okay, sorry. Words and pictures. If you sing, I'll do $5.99 super chats now. Yeah. Well. Do you want me to sing, or do you want Sean Connery to sing? Make that clear before you send out the money, because while I would love the money, I also want you to be a satisfied customer. PvP says, what about a TNA? I'm afraid at the moment the only TNA I can share is mine, which you would not want to see. It would kind of be like that Hallmark movie y'all watched the other day. But check out PvP as well. He shares out the music that he loves, and he is often on the panels with Gorillas, Random Thoughts, and other wonderful people like Mikey, Susie 4, Resolute Germ, Sci-Fi Sith Dan, and I know I'm forgetting someone. Larry, Be Yourself Adventures. Lots of people come on and talk on those panels. We've got hello to Booger 414 Booger. Always has some thoughtful and insightful comments. Hail and welcome. I'm glad that you're here. DJ Ronnie G just got here. That number system makes no sense. It doesn't. I got to tell you, I think it's fun that they do the XP thing, but you explain to me how people with 75 XP, yeah, like, okay, right now, John Ponerero's at the top with 85 XP. But then you got DJ Ronnie G followed by Booger. They both have 75 XP, so why does DJ have a higher rating than Booger? You'd think it'd be Booger. You'd think it'd be in alphabetical order. I don't know. Maybe it's in the order that you do the chat. I don't know. Realway Nation Gaming Clips trying to get some vids made. God bless you. I'm glad that you're stopping by. But I understand if you got to focus on those videos. I need to start making some, like, edited videos one of these days. PvP, the government in Canada is destroying all of our futures. Jeff B, 1941. I'm coming to the important one. It's coming, Bertha. It's coming. This is the big one. Matt Chewood, you should do a watch party for you, Jimbo. And yes, I too love Kurosawa and Mifune. That is an excellent idea. I would love to do a watch party for Ron, for Heaven and Earth, Seven Samurai, Yojimbo. But we'll see. We'll just see. Now that I'm monetized, I'll have the incentive to do more things. PvP, oh my, TNA. I won't there's a new teacher at my school. She is pretty cute, but I can't use that as a pickup line. I need my job. Laughing out loud. PvP is agreeing with Matt Chewood. Yes, Kurosawa watch party. And we've got, actually, let's start with this one. 99 cents, JPRPH1 leading, beginning the stretch toward that goal. And Connie Cleary going above and beyond with a $2 super chat. Hold on, I'm gonna stop the music because these super chats deserve the thing that I do, that thing, that thing I do. YouTube. And right now this is all I've got. 1 million. Here we go. This one's for you guys. Nope, not this one, though. That one's too long and would get me dinged. Here we go. This one. God, dag nabbit, YouTube. Okay, here we go. Yes. And I don't know. I'll have to think of something else that is really cool. Like, oh, here we go. Let's see if this will pop up. Probably not. Probably not. Nope. 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 YouTube is so disappointing sometimes. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see if this shows up. I don't want the whole thing though, because I don't want to be dinged by YouTube. Let's see here. Let's see if this will play. There we go. Nee for the one super chat and $1 million for the rest of you. All right, now more people are popping. This is just it's been a minute since the chat's been popping like this. PvP, I'm telling you, man, she's a cutie. Wish me luck that I can be professional. Although it is not discouraged at my job, so maybe I can get a date. That would be cool. I remember dates. They're really delicious fruit. Booger414, I have had 75 XP in other chats. I don't think your first 75 can ever pass by anyone else. I got you. I got up to 225 last night in Thedazord's showing of Puma Man. I don't know. Puma Man must be public domain because they got away with showing the whole thing on YouTube, which I'm not complaining about because it was a lot of fun, and I don't want the YouTube overlords to ding them. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So Matt Cheatwood, a three-peat Yojimbo fistful of dollars and last man standing. Yes, DJ Ronnie G, I am monetized now. YouTube was very mad, and then either I finally got the right things deleted or edited, or somebody with the administration who we cannot name because they're bad people maybe gave them a phone call and said, hey, quit leaning so heavy on some of our supporters. I don't know which. I don't care. I'm just happy it happened. Yeah. Okay, Booker makes a good point. We didn't win World War II to watch anime. Real Way Nation just made 36 videos. Holy cow. That's amazing. And DJ Ronnie G, have I been a member for a while or forgot, or did I get gifted? You got gifted. Yes. I have forgotten because I'm a big dork. Was it Connie? Who was it on the last stream? Somebody gifted 5 memberships or 1 membership or something, and you were gifted a membership. So I will try my hardest. I may fail, but I will try my hardest to earn that membership. Matt Cheatwood, Booger, I agree to disagree. Real White Nation, hello. And all right. Words and pictures. I'll do one for you to sing covering your $5. Hope this is acceptable. You know what? It's good enough for me. I'd still love more super chats, but I think $10 that should cover it. So let me reward you with, what should I reward you with besides the song? You know what? I'll just go ahead and reward you with the song. Da 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 da. All right. First off, let's be really super cheesy here. Super cheese. All right. I'm going to do it just like I did in the good old days of yore when I really knew what I was doing. Honest Possum. Image. All right. Since I don't have, I think this will be better than the way I did it before. Here we go. Yeah, we'll choose this one. There we go. And we will go and make the camera, but I got to share the right thing. So hold on, I'm getting Sean on here. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to introduce a man I'm honored to share the screen with, the resurrected Sean Connery, who has a closet full of severed heads. He has come back from the dead because that's what he is. That's what immortal Highlanders do. Greetings, everyone. I'm honored and grateful that I am on here to sing Crazy Train for you. I'm also very honored, Sean Connery. Hold on, I know you don't know the lyrics, so let me get those lyrics up here. Quit moving the camera around. It's making everybody sick. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Lyrics to Crazy Train. Here we go. I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train. There we go. There we go. All right, Sean. I hope you are ready and all that stuff. You know what? Now I just realized I don't know that I can do it this way because I have the camera focused on you, but then you won't be seeing the lyrics. That's why you should have done some prep before you did your show, you silly, dumb person. I guess I'll try my best. Of course, you all know losers whine about their best. Winners go home and beep the prom queen. All right, let's start this. All aboard! Hey, crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as foes. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love, not how to hate. However, if she's very provocative, we know what happens to them. Mental wounds not healing. Life's a bitter shame. I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train. Yes, I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train. Oh, stupid internet. I've listened to preachers. I've listened to fools. I've watched all the dropouts who make their own rules, just like Sean Connery makes his own rules. One person conditioned to rule and control, just like on Highlander, where we are the princes of the universe. One person conditioned to rule and control the media sells it, and you live the role. Mental wounds, still screaming, driving me insane. I'm going off the rails. Yes, on the Crazy Train. I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train, which is a much smaller ride than the Nautilus was in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Heirs of a Cold War is what we've become, inheriting troubles. I'm mentally numb, crazy, just cannot bear. I'm living with something that just isn't fair. Mental wounds not healing. Who and what's to blame? Well, I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train. Yes, I'm going off the rails on the Crazy Train. The edge, the edge. Ha ha! Edge, edge, ledge, shaken, not stirred. Well, Sean, thank you very much. That was an amazing rendition of that song. I'm certain that Words and Pictures is thinking that it was worth every bit of that $10 super chat, or maybe he's just regretting it and calling his lawyer to get his money back. Well, don't blame me. I've been dead for a few years, so you're just lucky you got me at all. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much. That was Sean Connery. Yay! Verily, yay! All right, let's see what's going on in the chat, and I'll go back to not showing my ugly face or my silly computer. We've got DJ Ronnie G saying, "Oh, nice." Donation bumped me up to 775 XP. Holy crap. Let me take a look at that. We're one away from goal, but that's okay because we've already hit like a $10 thing. Top fans, yeah, words and pictures. Holy crap! If you want to beat him, you're going to have to do a $10 super chat. Not to say that anybody wants to beat him. I know money's kind of tight, but yeah, words and pictures is number one with 775 XP. Like he's a second level, third level D&D character now. John Pontorero is number 2 with 185 XP, and I'm getting to why he's at 185. Connie Cleary is at 175. I would bet at least in part because of that super chat that she sent. And on that note, John Pontorero has sent a 199 super chat. So let's reward him with yes, we are the knights who say knee. Gorillas, Random Thoughts, Kapla from Doroko Central. Kapla to you, Gorillas. As always, thank you for making my intro. Thank you for the support that you give and the times that you let me on those watch panels. And glory to you and your house. I hope that the visit goes well or is going well. DJ Ronnie G, 36 vids. You're a machine, Real Wade Nation Gaming. And another wonderful creator has joined us. While I'm at it, let me promote Gorillas. Please join him on his watch parties, especially his Walton's watch parties on Friday, his cigar lounges. I'm having a senior moment. I know the day that it is, but it's not popping into my head. If you don't mind, go ahead and pop in the chat when your cigar lounges are. But he does some fun watch parties on Sundays. He does his cigar lounges. When big events happen, he'll have some fun and informative videos come out. So check him out. And Resolute Germ, who has his Saturday morning cartoons, amongst other things. Hello, hello, and hail, welcome, and well met. Check him out as well. Man, we've got so many good people in here. All right. Words and Pictures is saying hello. Booger saying the only Spanish samurai with a Scottish accent in Matt Cheatwood. I thought he was Egyptian. Words and Pictures is just like Sean's in the room. He makes the rules on Jeopardy. Yes, he does. All right. Brilliant work, Curtis. Thank you, sir. Oh, my. Okay, everybody saying hello. $10. You're welcome at my stream anytime. Yes, sir, Bob. Anybody willing to send $10 just to hear me say goofy stuff like I'm Sean Connery? Welcome anytime. Holy crap, they fixed the XP. It looks like they did. Yep. It's like the super chats actually matter now. Darichio. And Real Way Nation clips. I will make that 37 minutes clips only because I'm going on vacation in 7 days for a week. I wanted to enjoy and not worry about content. Right on. He made his quota. Gorilla's thoughts tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's the Cigar Lounge. Tonight we're going to see if I land in Oz. We'll be praying for you, sir. We'll be praying for you. And the cartoons are done for now, doing Monday kaiju movies now. Oh, so he's probably got a kaiju movie coming on fairly soon. I need to get to the freaking topic. Wow, you guys have just been insane in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go back to the topic at hand. We were talking about how the U.S. is destroying young people. And I wanted to share this next part. I hope I don't share so much of it that YouTube dings me, but I think it's very important that we hear this next portion. We already talked about how the education has exponentially exploded. The cost of housing has exponentially exploded. So the young have to, they have to work about, I don't know, half again as hard as we did to get the things that they wanted, but then they honestly feel less motivated than we did. And there's reasons for that. Here's one of them.
Strategy, where we artificially constrain supply to create aspiration and scarcity such that we can raise tuition faster than inflation.
He's talking about education there. And I always complain about anonymous sources, so I'm going to break one of my own rules and hope you'll forgive me. But an anonymous source told me about one time they were talking with two professors in a phone message or Skype message or something. I absolutely can understand if you decide that this next bit of information is worthless to you, but said person was saying that these two professors were talking about how if they allowed fewer people to get through with the doctorates that they offered in their particular field, then those doctorates could charge more money. And I disagree with my friend on a lot of things, but I agree with him wholeheartedly on this. It's kind of a sleazy thing to do. I didn't think that we were supposed to, it's like I said in an earlier stream, if you've made your money by manipulating systems, I don't have a lot of respect for you. If you've done it by providing value for the world in general, then hell yeah, let's be strong, hardcore capitalists. This is one of the things he's talking about here. We've manipulated things so that tuition can be raised faster than inflation.
And old people and wealthy people have done the same thing with housing. All of a sudden, once you own a home, you become very concerned with traffic, and you make sure that there's no new housing permits. And here is a memo to my colleagues in higher ed. We're public servants, not fucking Chanel bags.
I like it. Okay, somebody sent me something. What do we got here? Boop, 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 boop. Thrill as the tired blogger checks his texts. All right. So the LMVH strategy, I think I'll skip ahead just a bit, if only so that YouTube doesn't ding me. Okay.
Freshman class faster than population that has over $1 billion in endowment should lose their tax-free status because they're no longer in higher education. They're a hedge fund offering classes.
All right, I'm going to risk the ding from YouTube because what he said there just really needs to be heard. So.
Harvard is the best example of this. They've increased their endowment in the last 40 years and have decided to expand their enrollment, their freshman class, by 4%. Any university that doesn't grow their freshman class faster than population that has over $1 billion in endowment should lose their tax-free status because they're no longer in higher education. They're a hedge fund offering classes.
Now, I don't know, but from things that he says later on in this video, I do not believe this man is a Trump supporter. And so I know I've probably got some very good, kind liberal friends who think that what Trump is doing with Harvard is horrible. I respectfully disagree. Now, maybe his political motivation is wrong and bad, but once I saw this placard, this whatever you call it, this spiffy thingamabob with, they've had a 435% increase in their endowment and a 4% increase in their enrollment, and yet they're vastly increasing their tuition. Screw them. It's an obvious freaking Ponzi scheme. Once you see that truth, has nothing to do with the politics at all. They're screwing over the students, and that's not cool. That's not right. So, if you want to say that Trump is wrong to do it for political means, okay, that's fine. We can have that discussion. But some freaking buddy needs to corral these people. And I'm sorry if I'm being too blunt, but it's the truth. All right, let's get caught up here on chat. Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Derecho is a land hurricane. I did not know that. We were expecting 80-mile-per-hour winds, very large hail, rain-wrapped tornadoes over a long period of time. Oh, yes, prayers for you, sir. Resolute Germ, this may be a good point. Let's read this. It only seems they have to work harder. In reality, they're just twice as lazy and half as intelligent. And there are some that demonstrate that as a truth sometimes, but I've also known some that are not that way. But Matt Chewood, the same technique has been used in the housing market. Yes. Words and pictures, anony are rare. I'm not sure what that means. Not sure what that means. Nope, not sure. All right, but anyway. Let's see. Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Harvard can go screw themselves. They make enough money. They don't need government money. They don't need our tax dollars. And I tend to agree. If they're going to be doing shenanigans like this, they don't. PvP, Tim Hortons used to be a valued Canadian restaurant that got sold to Burger King. Stopped making food in-house fresh and went to frozen, shipped-in crap. Then they stopped hiring young Canadians. Ooh. Matt Cheedwood, I think it's an important difference between the right and the left these days. The left is more concerned with motives, yes, at least stated motives, than they are about the results. Exactly. Maybe I'm wrong to feel this way, but I honestly don't give a crap what Trump's motives are in this case. In this case, this needs to be put a stop to. I get Harvard is the elite and the creme de la creme, and they're going to train all of the elites that run the new world order. I get all that, and that's great if someone's in support of that. Some of my friends have basically said that they are, but to me, it's still screwing students, and that's not cool. PvP, now they only hire foreign students from Asia and India. Most folks now call them Tim Turbans. Anoni Moose. Oh, Anoni Moose. Gotcha. Yes, that's what you meant. Okay. Anoni Moose are rare. Gotcha. Railway Nation Gaming Clips. To be fair, Curtis, I made 38 out of 39 videos, but I released 3 videos in 2-hour increments. I like the strategy that you use. I know I need to be doing more things like that. Get off my lazy tail and just make some actual videos instead of just everything being live stream or shorts. PvP, by the way, I know this firsthand as my cousin owned 2 Tim franchises before he retired 8 years ago. What I see is many Western democracies turning against their people. Yes. That's exactly what's happening, and I wish I knew what to do or say about it. Words and Pictures is laughing at Matt's comment about the Anonymous. PvP, Matt Cheatwood is responding to. They were always against the people. The people are just now realizing it. PvP, it does seem there is a globalist agenda at work. And yes, and I know I heard one of my friends say, well, if you're against globalism, you're behind the times. That ship has sailed. Maybe that's true, but I still think I have the right to not like what I'm seeing in the globalist agenda. I don't like that it seems to be encouraging and fomenting violence and poverty and hate so that it can achieve its ultimate goal. And I still believe, maybe I'm wrong, it's one of the few things that I don't really have a lot of empirical data to base it off of, but it's one of the things that I believe without that. I want to believe that Martin Luther King Jr. is correct. We don't overcome hate with more hate. We overcome it with love. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong on that. Matt Cheatwood, I think George Carlin said it best. You don't need a conspiracy when powerful people have common interests. 100%. PvP, Matt Cheatwood, not to the same degree. 20 years ago, Canada was still a good place to live. It has gone down in many, many ways. All right. Well, let's go back to the video, see what else he has to say.
And have decided to expand their enrollment, their freshman class, by 4%. Any university that doesn't grow their freshman class faster than population, that has over $1 billion in endowment, should lose their tax-free status because they're no longer in higher education. They're a hedge fund offering classes. My first recommendation, Biden should take some of that $750 billion earmarked to bail out the 1/3 of people that got to go to college on the backs of the 2/3 that didn't, and give $1 billion to our 500 greatest public institutions, size adjusted, in exchange for three things. One, they use technology and scale to reduce tuition by 2% a year, expand enrollments by 6% a year, and increase the number of vocational certifications and non-traditional four-year degrees by 20%. Where does that get us? In just 10 years, that doubles the freshman seats and cuts the cost in half. This isn't radical. This is called college in the 80s and 90s. Another trans.
All right. Now, I don't know if he's 100% correct in his methodology, but without doing an intense amount of research, it makes sense. Instead of putting all that money into just every random person, let's put it into not Harvard, not the elite schools, but into the schools that people actually can kind of afford to go to. Maybe even some of the conservative schools. I know that's a radical idea, terrible idea, and it's terrible that Trump wants to give money to them. Oh my God, he's a terrible man. But maybe give people some choice as to what kind of ideology they want to believe instead of forcing them to be inaugurated into your ideology. Now he's about to talk about the transfer of wealth. Let's get back to the chat real quick. Real Wade Nation Gaming, on this vacation, I might do a late night stream, but it will depend on how tired I am. I know I've been way more tired than I ought to be, but that's a discussion for another day. Matt Cheatwood, Pleasant Valley picker. I don't know about Canada. The U.S. has a long history of experimenting on its citizens, destroying communities, and overturning foreign governments to enrich donors. And Resolute Germ, I'm wondering about that myself. How do you suppose he got to that? How did he get to doubling freshman seats and having the cost in 10 years? That's the part that I don't really understand. I'm willing to accept that that's a possibility, but I would love to know what's the science or what's the economic calculation that he's using to get that. Matt Cheatwood, different cultures, basically. All right. But this is, while on a certain level it makes sense, it is true that I don't know how that math works out. I don't know how he gets to that. So I would have to do a lot more research before I just gung ho said that this is the right thing to do. But I do think, at least my gut tells me, that it would have been a better option than what Biden actually did. But it is what it is, and I could easily be wrong. Let's see what else he's got to say.
In half. This isn't radical. This is called college in the 80s and 90s. Another transfer of wealth. Look at what's happened to wages. Oh, they've gone up, not as much as corporate profits. There's a healthy tension between capital and labor. For the last 40 years, capital has been kicking the shit out of labor. Well, you think, whoa, what about wages, right? They've gone up. Well, if you compare them to the S&P, they barely register. It's been an amazing time to own assets, but your attempt to get the certification or the income such that you can acquire assets has gotten harder and harder. In my class of 300 kids, it's never been easier to be a billionaire. It's never been harder to be a millionaire. By the way, our job in higher ed isn't to identify a top 1% of people who are freakishly remarkable or have rich parents and turn them into a superclass of billionaires. It's to give the bottom 90 a chance to be in the top 10.
What do you guys think about what he said there? I know when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he more or less makes it sound like if you're not one of these people who can become a millionaire, you're, I want to soften the words at least a little bit. You're not the brightest bulb in the lamp if you're just simply working for a wage. You need to be some kind of an entrepreneur or investor. But as he is pointing out, if you believe this data, it's harder and harder and harder to be someone at the bottom and yet invest. I talked about the other day about how I have some investments that give me a little bit more than a month's living, but they're very illiquid. I won't be able to get to those assets until February. So, you know, a rich man, that doesn't matter. He can wait till forever almost. But I'm freaking poor and hungry. I really need that money right the heck now. But then I took the risk and I invested, and this is what happened. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Matt Cheatwood, 2% change over 10 years would increase to 1.2 times the original value. Okay, so it wouldn't double, but it would increase by 1.2 times. PVP in the 60s as a kid, my hometown was like Mayberry on the Andy Griffith Show. Safe streets, no panhandlers, no homeless or drug addicts in the streets. It was a different world. Resolute Jeremy said 2% a year reduction in tuition, even progressively, that's closer to 25%, not half. Yes, that is true. That is true. PVP, when I went to college, a semester was under $1,000. I remember even in my day, you could do it. You had to go to a community college and, kind of not take a ton of hours, but you could do 12 hours under 1,000. I don't think you could now. DJ Ronnie G, I don't like how investing requires people to be in the know. I don't mind it so much. What I mind is we don't educate people about it, and we're not the companies are not transparent about it. If people were educated about investing, even just minimally, and then combine that with companies that were truly transparent instead of hiding every freaking thing, then it would be a fairer ball game. PvP, everything has become harder to afford. DJ Ronnie G. I got my accountant friend telling me it's dumb to invest in precious metals, but he's not giving me a straightforward do-it-yourself strategy for doing it the correct way. That was when I was in that industry, that's the thing that I noticed. There was always somebody who could give you a good reason why any particular investment was a bad idea, but it was profoundly rare to find someone who would even claim to have a correct way. The rich dad, poor dad guy, Kiyosaki, um, he may be full of it for all I know, but he is unique in that he at least claims to be teaching you how to do it the correct way. But I noticed that even he is moderately vague, although less vague than others. And anyway, Matt Cheatwood, it has become more difficult. Somehow the wealthiest have become far wealthier. DJ Ronnie G, I'm sure I can see more gains if I tracked and traded crypto daily and ETFs. So basically, be a day trader. I've thought about that, but man, I'm going to admit I'm scared to death to try it. DJ Ronnie G, I like the simplicity of using metals in the manner that others would use a savings account. Liquefied as crap, so I can't just spend it without being damn sure I need to do so. Resla Germ, even on minimum wage, you can invest. If people budget, stay out of debt, and save, you can live comfortably. I'm not going to argue that because I think, let's just say that there's a certain truth to a lot of people could do better. I know I myself could have done a little bit better. I think I did pretty well, but I could have done better. And so what the discussion would need to be is how much of it is people being lazy. Because a certain amount of it is. How much of it is people who aren't budgeting, who aren't, using their debt strategies wisely, and how much of it is government and big corporations that are basically manipulating the systems to keep us under. I think there's a certain amount of truth on both sides of that. DJ, also, if I don't monitor the markets for months on end, I still have the metal. Right on, right on. Matt Cheatwood, DJ Ronnie G, I'm operating on the assumption things are going to go so bad, only food and water will be valuable. DJ Ronnie G, education about it. Good point, Curtis. I was going to add that point too. And I figured you were. I kind of figured that was in the back of your mind. Gorillas, today it's 1,000 to answer the phone. It's another 1,000 for them to say hello. DJ Ronnie G. Well, at Matt Cheatwood, the way I see it, the metals will come in handy on the other side of that deep downturn, which is not wrong. If you can survive the real bad storm, eventually the metals will come back into play. Words and pictures, he lost his hair before he realized the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's not right. Until we all come together, nothing will change. Resolute Germ, Rich Dad is a scam. Follow the Ramsey method. I am a big fan of the Ramsey method. I really am. I don't go quite so far as to say that Rich Dad is a scam, but what I do say is I wish he was a little less vague, and I wish he didn't. He comes out and he says that people are suckers, and I don't think that's a good way to, even if it's true, I don't think it's a good way to sell your idea. Honestly, Rich Dad, I'm sure he knows what he's doing because I think he makes a lot of money off of his investments. But at the end of the day, I think he's a great marketer of books. He's going to share just enough so that you feel like you got something out of it, and maybe did get something out of it. But there's not going to be so much that you're actually going to get rich off of it. You need that next book. Okay, so you didn't get rich off of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but you will get rich off of my cash flow book and on and on it goes. DJ Ronnie G. At one point during the pandemic, oil futures went to negative $37 a barrel. Wow. This meant that you either had to roll the contract before expiry or end up owing a ton of money if you don't take delivery. Yeah, those were crazy, crazy times. Man, that pandemic, it sure did a number on us, whatever you think of it. DJ, I like the idea of something I can ignore without any real consequence on paper. Right on. I get you there. PvP, I'm grandfathered in my apartment rent and I can get by. If I was a new tenant, it would be $1,600 a month. Could not do that at minimum wage. DJ Ronnie G makes I think, a really good point here. Rich Dad has some good advice, but he is also main. I thought this was going to be mainstream media, but MLM. I'm not. I feel stupid because I feel like I should know what that term means. But what do you mean by MLM? Sell you something, but keep them coming back for more. It applies to various things, and it does. Yes. Okay. Yeah. The minute you said it, I was like, duh. Yeah, that's what it is. Multi-level marketing. Yes, he's about that multi-level marketing. I have mixed feelings about multi-level marketing. I'll put it this way. I'm not in it. I don't plan to get in it. If you're in it, I hope you do well. God bless you. But I just have my reservations about it. I really do. Resolute Germ ETF investments are a good starting point for investments. I would agree with that 100%. All right, I'm not going to play the Knights Who Say Knee. I'm going to share more about the U.S. doing stuff. Let's skip ahead to this.
The transfer has been purposeful. While the cohorts, corporations, and the ultra wealthy continue to garner more and more of our wealth, we have decided, I know, if they win the gold, let's give them the silver and the bronze and let's lower their taxes. This transfer is purposeful. It's not by accident. And it works. Senior poverty is way down, and we should celebrate that. Meanwhile, child poverty is flat to up. The third.
Okay, let me pause it on that graph. Yeah, senior poverty, and I agree with him. It's good that it's going down. I'm especially gratified since I'm getting older myself. Trust me, it sucks to be in poverty when you're so old you can't really do much about it. That's not to say that we should keep crunching our under 18-year-olds. I think it's terrible for children to live in poverty too, because they can do about as much about it as the very elderly. They can do basically nothing. Or next to nothing. I know Wreck-It Ralph made it sound like it's really easy to make a fortune on YouTube, but it takes a little more work than one might think. But there it is. The percentages of under 18s in poverty remains roughly 1 in 5, up from 16%, which was still too high in the 70s. Whereas the elderly, who are just slightly more poor at 17%, well, now they're down to about 10. And again, still too much. I don't really want the poor you have with you always, but I would love to live to see a Star Trek day where maybe 5% or something, but it sucks that so many people are poor. DJ Ronnie G, yeah, ETFs on their own aren't terrible. It's nice because I'm familiar with the rhythms of ETF assets, some of them. It's easier to trade since it's all on paper and electronic. And by the way, I am in no way making any investment advice. I don't have my license anymore to do so anyway. And plus, I would hate to give someone some advice and they act on it and then they go broke. So PvP is asking Gorillas if he's on later. And hello, we have another great creator here, LDG, hashtag free the net. He is developing that app that will free us from these tech gurus that we're talking about. So please check out his material. Also, he has a 24/7 tribute going for, oh, darn it, I hate being old sometimes, for Bird of Prey 5. So if you just feel like reminiscing about the good days when Bird of Prey 5 was on the net, he has a tribute channel for that. Okay, so poverty is up for the young and down for the old.
$5 billion a year to Social Security that flies right through Congress. And every year we transfer $1.4 trillion from a cohort that is increasingly doing less well to the cohort that is the wealthiest cohort in the history of this planet. I'm not against Social Security, but the criteria should be if you need it, not whether you have a catheter. 80% of you have absolutely no reason to ever take Social Security. It is bankrupting our nation, and we have fallen under this mythology that somehow it's this great social program. No, it's not. It's the great transfer of wealth from young to old. How is this happening? Because our...
And so, what do you guys think about that? Is Social Security nothing but a transfer of wealth from young to old? I mean, on some level, it is. Gorillas will be streaming the Derecho. He told me how to pronounce it, but I've already forgotten. Derecho. Ha 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 ha. All right. I mean, again, going back to what Matt Cheatwood said about people on the left, it's intentions that matter. Well, if intentions are what matter, then yes, our intent is to lift the elderly out of poverty, but the result is we're impoverishing the young. And it's really not cool. I'm not saying that we should do away. Trump is right. We should do away with Social Security, which I don't. Anyway, I'm not getting into the politics of it. But yeah, old people vote.
Washington has become a cross between the land of the dead and the Golden Girls. Quite frankly, this is fucking ridiculous. And if I sound ageist, I am. And you know who else is ageist? Biology. When Speaker Pelosi had her first child, get this, 2/3 of households didn't have color televisions, and Castro had just declared martial law. But she's supposed to understand the challenges of a 17-year-old girl who's 5'9", 95 pounds, getting tips on dieting and extreme dieting from Facebook. She's supposed to understand the challenges that a 27-year-old single mother face. By the way, young and dreamy.
Oh, here we go. We're going to talk about Canada after all. Huzzah! If old folks worked all their lives and paid into the system, they earned a pension, and that's not a bad point either. Resolute Germ. I'm trying to click on your thing, but for some reason, there we go. Social Security does more to keep the elderly in poverty than anything else. PvP, I do not impoverish young folks. They have decades ahead of them. Get off the blanking couch, stop playing video games, get a damn job. I can understand the idea. Blah, 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 blah. I do not say blah, blah, blah. I get the feeling. I really do. I do. Let's see what he's going to say about Trudeau's 52 and dreamy.
Young and dreamy. The great intergenerational theft took place under the auspices of a virus. I know, let's use the greatest health crisis in the century to really speedball the transfer. This is the NASDAQ from 2008 to 2012. We let the markets crash. And by the way, you need churn, you need disruption because it seeds and recalibrates advantage and wealth from the incumbents to the entrants. It's the natural part of the cycle. But wait, lately, no, 1 million people dying would be bad, but what would be tragic is if we let the NASDAQ go down and guys like me lost wealth. So we pumped the economy, which again, increased the massive transfer of wealth. The best 2 years of my life, COVID, more time with my kids, more time with Netflix, and my value of my stocks absolutely exploded.
What do you guys think about that? Because I know during COVID, I was still working and still working hard, and now COVID's gone, and all of a sudden I'm laid off. What the heck? Do we need weird things like that to artificially stimulate the economy? But I didn't get to stay at home. I had to actually go to work. I'm not meaning to complain about it. I was happy to do it, but get off my lawn, kids. Trudeau is an asshole. Trudeau put Canada's destruction on track. Now Carney will finally kill it. Look up the truckers' protest. Indeed, yes, yes. Any type of collection of benefits needs to be based on internment, not age. Yeah, I would say basically it needs to be based off of whether you really do need it. You know, are you no longer capable of working? If you're no longer capable of working and you've paid in, as PVP says, then 100%, I'm okay with you getting it. I'm not so sure if I'm okay with people getting it when they're still capable of working. I say that. Maybe I'll think differently in another decade. We'll see. Here we go. We let the markets fall. So I was coming into my prime income earning years. Okay, here we go. He uses this great example. Why am I here? Why do I get the prosperity
I enjoy? Because in 2008, we bailed out the banks, but we didn't bail out the economy. We let the markets fall. So as I was coming into my prime income earning years, I got to buy, no joke, these stocks at these prices. This is where those stocks are now. Where does a young person find disruption? When you bail out the baby boomer owner of a restaurant, all you're doing is robbing opportunity from the 26-year-old graduate of a culinary academy that wants her shot. We need disruption. I just like this slide. It has no context or relevance.
Mark Zuckerberg. The best thing that ever happened to our youth, I would suggest, is Mark Zuckerberg. PVP, he worked through the virus. Justin Castro, indeed. If you're higher income, you don't get a pension. So there you go. Let's see here. Let's see what he has to say about Mark Zuckerberg. I need to call it a stream here in a bit.
We're economically attacking the young, but I know, let's attack their emotional and mental well-being. Let's take advantage of the fact of the flaws in our species with medieval institutions, Paleolithic instincts, and godlike technology. I'm just going to say, I think Mark Zuckerberg has done more damage to young people in our nation while making more money than any person in history. Oh, but wait, what could be worse? It's as if we let an adversary implant a neural jack into our youth to raise a generation of civic, military, and business leaders that hate America. How can we be this stupid?
Do we have an answer to that? How could we be this stupid? I mean, I'll admit, I for a long time I didn't want to do anything on Facebook, and now here I am streaming on Facebook. I don't think that anyone's over there watching, which is okay. I'm just experimenting, but it's like the whole point I thought of social media was to connect us together, to give everyone a voice, and instead we're going to alienate everybody, and we're going to make sure that only one side gets a voice. Gorillas would be commenting more, but he's taping cardboard over the windows. Let's pray for God. Please keep your hand over Gorillas and don't let any storm hit him or hurt him. We'll skip to this.
All right, this all adds up to a bunch of graphs all headed up into the right. And what are they? What's the first one? Oh, that's self-harm rates, which have exploded, especially among girls, since my colleague Jonathan Haidt pointed out it's really gone crazy since social went on mobile. What's the next one? Teens with depression. The next one, men and women not having sex. Biggest fear of my parents was that I was going to get in too much trouble. My biggest fear, honestly, is that my kids aren't going to get into enough trouble. By the way, my advice to every young person watching this program is go out, drink more, and make a series of bad decisions that might pay off.
Don't know if I agree with that or not, but yes, I think that it's a disturbing trend that there's prudishness, and I know in my day, prudes, which is what I was back then, were very much the minority. I don't want to go back to that, where if you save yourself for marriage, you're looked down on. But at the same time, what the heck? Why even get married if you're not going to be able to be with the woman that you love? And you're just going to sleep in separate beds? And I don't know. I don't think we have marriages much anymore. Something weird's going on.
Next graph, cumulative gun deaths. You're more likely to be shot in the United States if you're a toddler or an infant than a cop. Next graph, obesity, way up. By the way, the industrial food complex wants to addict you to shitty, fatty food so they can hand you over to the industrial diabetes complex. We should not.
While I'm trying to steer from being too political, I cannot help but say RFK, RFK, RFK.
Romanticize obesity. You're not finding your fucking truth. You're finding diabetes. Overdose deaths, way up. Deaths of despair. When I was in high school, it was drunk driving. Now it's kids killing themselves. Young people don't want to have kids anymore. 2/3 of people aged 30 to 34, able-bodied, used to decide to have at least one child. It's been cut in half. It's now less than 1/3.
Can you imagine? Can you even imagine that? Because I can't. I can't grasp that figure. I need to do more research. Maybe that figure is wrong, but 1 in 4 is all that even want to have kids. That's crazy to me. Let's see if anyone's in the chat talking. Gorillas, I gave up on Facebook. They always kept it set to private. Yeah, mine's set to private. I don't know how to undo that, so I might only try 1 or 2 more times if I can't figure out how to not set it to private. At this point, why do you even have Windows, Gorilla? Good point. Matt Chewood, this is what Mousetopia looks like in humans. And all my liberal friends told me I was crazy, that this is not Mousetopia. And maybe it's not. I know that there is some logic to saying, well, those are mice and we are humans. But to me, that doesn't negate all the evidence. It doesn't negate all of the evidence. Let's see what PvP is sharing here. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doo, doobie-doobie-doo-doo. No, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at don't impoverish young folks. Here it is. Freedom Convoy organizers prepare for sentencing as Crown seeks 8 years. Holy crap. That might be what we do next, if, depending on what. No, I've got a poll up. You guys get to choose. Let me look at that real quick. 35% of you want a watch party of 47 Ronin. 29% of you want a Q&A. 24% of you want to talk about Ryan Walters of Oklahoma education fame. And 12% of you want a Donkey Panda episode. All right. Skip ahead. To World Happiness Report.
Less than a third, 27%. As a result, people over the age of 60 in the US, pretty happy. People under the age of 30, not so much. Some of the lowest in the free world. What can we do? Nothing wrong with America that can't be fixed with what's right with it. We got the hard stuff figured out. There are programs to address all of these issues that cost a lot of money. That's the hard part. And we have figured this out. In just 5 minutes post an earnings call, we can add $250 billion to the economy. We've got the hard part figured out, the resources. We have the money, but we decide not to do it. This is per capita spending on childcare in the United States relative to other nations.
Let's look and compare. Wow, we are way at the bottom. So public spending per child on child care. Norway's at the top with 30,000. So I'm not sure if that's, I don't know how to, what to make of this, honestly. So Norway spends 30,000 per person on child care. Maybe, I mean, I can't help but say this, but maybe that's too much. Maybe they spend too much on it. Iceland, 24K, Finland, 23, United States, 1,000. This doesn't seem accurate to me, to be honest, but we'll let that go for now. We'll let that go for now.
This is housing permits. Things are doable. We increased minimum wage to $25 an hour.
See, I do disagree with that. I'm a big fan of being very gradual in the increase of minimum wage. I get where he's going. I get that, you know, for in the short run, it would be a nice big hit for the young. And maybe that is what we need to do, but I'm never been a fan of sudden increases in things like that. Okay, so here's his list of doable things. Increase the minimum wage to 25 an hour. Curious what you guys think about that. A big old tax for high income and corporations. Refund the IRS. I'm sure that's a popular one in this community, but I do think this one is probably popular across the board. It's just we would have differences on how to reform it, or to reform Social Security. Let's skip ahead to his talk on technology. Remove 230 protection for algorithmically elevated content.
We need to remove 230 protection for all algorithmically elevated content. We need identity verification. The reason we can have identity verification is because we have a First Amendment. Break up big tech. We have monopolies that are incurring greater and greater costs on every small business and parents because
I totally agree with that. I don't know about identity verification, but breaking up big tech, I think the number one most important, best thing we can do for all kinds of reasons is to break up Google. And my apologies to you, YouTube. You know, maybe YouTube doesn't need to be broken up, but maybe it doesn't need to be part of Google anymore. They don't need nearly infinite money to basically decide what we think and say.
Because again, see above, our representatives don't understand these technologies. We need to age gate social media. There's absolutely no reason anyone under the age of 16 should ever be on social media. We need universal pre-K. We need to reinstate the expanded child tax credit. We need term limits, see above Andrew Yang. We need income-based.
I have mixed feelings about term limits, but I absolutely understand why someone would be for it. I don't know how I feel about income-based affirmative action. I'm not a big fan of affirmative action at all, honestly. I think it was a good idea in the 60s. I think I think we've got to the point where it's not doing any more good.
Expand college enrollment in vocational programs, mental health, ban phones in schools, invest in third places, big brothers and sisters programs. We need national service. We need to tell people in the United States and Canada that they live in the greatest countries in the world, and we need to remind them of that every day by exposing them to other great Americans where they feel connected tissue. We can do all of this. We can do all of it. We have the resources. The question is, do we have the will? This is my last slide. It is an emotionally manipulative slide to try and get you to like me more.
All right, so there it is, how the U.S. is destroying young people's future, and his thoughts, which I agree with probably 50 or 60% of his ideas for solutions, but not with all of them. What do you all think? Let's see what you're saying in the chat. And yes, check out that video. I do have it up, and I'll probably watch it after the stream. Rebel News, Freedom Convoy organizers prepare for sentencing as the Crown seeks 8 years. We don't want kings unless it's King Charles. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Well, at first I didn't want kids, but then my lazy ass wouldn't reach over into the drawer to wrap it. Now I can't imagine life or a full wallet without them. Yeah, I get that. I miss my son, and that's all I'm going to say about that. PvP, part of the globalist plan, Trudeau stated he wants to get rid of legacy Canadians like me. That's why they're bringing hundreds of thousands of migrants. Gorillas Germ, the state of Minnesota kind of frowns if you don't have a windshield. Case in point. And PvP, Carney said Muslim values are Canadian values. I thought Canada was a Christian country. Not anymore, I guess. Some Muslims have 4 or 5 kids. Guess we will be a Muslim country in 20 years. Matt Cheatwood, all the nations at the top of that list have enormous petroleum wealth and spend nearly nothing on their national defense because they rely on the U.S. to protect them, and which is a good point. I love that meme that says all these countries that have free health care, they really don't. They had USAID pay for it. Gorillas Random Thoughts, tell those countries to protect themselves with their own military instead of us. Then we can talk about the spending. Resolute Germ, that's a misleading stat. The U.S. has a much high level of stay-at-home parenting that doesn't count toward his numbers. Matt Cheatwood, there should be no minimum wage, and I want to agree with you. I don't know that I quite feel comfortable with saying that, but having said that, I definitely don't feel comfortable in jacking it up to $25 an hour. I'm sure I've got liberal friends that just think I'm heartless and cruel. I would remind most of them that you make more than I do, so let me say my piece. Resolute Germ, they said 15 an hour would fix everything. Yeah, that's just it. The minimum wage alone, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's not going to fix the problems by itself. It absolutely won't, if it helps at all, which I know is very debatable. And the more you understand economics, the more debatable you understand it to be. But yeah, I'm not even, Oklahoma's got a bill on the ballot for raising it to $15 an hour. I'm broke, and I'm sure my liberal friends are probably just going to say, well, Curtis is not educated. I made A's in 3 economics courses. That's more than any of you can say. But anyway. PvP thing is, it's not just about increasing the minimum wage. It should be about getting prices down. Yeah, that's just it. If you increase minimum wage and prices just go up, you have done nothing for the young. Like I pointed out before, it might be a nice quick shot in the arm for, I would say, a maximum maybe 2 months before everything's right back where it was anyway, if not worse. Even with inflation, I've seen prices increase out of control. So not eliminating 230, just ensuring big tech doesn't get to have it both ways. Yeah, essentially. I do like his thoughts on big tech, or some of his thoughts. At least I like the thoughts of breaking up. If it's even just Google, I think that would be a huge help. But I would break up more of them. I'd break up Google. I frankly probably break up YouTube. I would break up Facebook. Um, I'm not sure what I think about TikTok, but I would do something with TikTok. And speaking of young people, Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf, check out her content. She has poetry, she has books, she has watch parties and interviews and movie reviews. So check her out. She's got some good stuff. Gorillas makes another good point here. Tell him to donate 75% of his money to the IRS, then go through an audit that says he owes more than then we can talk about refunding them. Right on, right on. Oh, Matt Cheatwood, the cure to these high prices is bringing competition back to the marketplace. Right now, BlackRock owns every corporation. They do not compete, which is something that this gentleman didn't bring up, but I think should be added to the conversation. And I'm glad that you did. I think that BlackRock is a huge part of the problem too, just like Google, just like Bill Gates, just like other people that I won't mention. So the algorithm doesn't punish me. Some of these people, I am no fan of redistribution of wealth, but I am a big fan of breaking up monopolies. I'm a big fan of breaking up monopolies. BlackRock, they've gotten big enough. We could probably break them into 5 or 6 or 7 companies and still have virtual monopolies, but at least hopefully it would be better. PvP, I remember reading in the 70s, you could buy a house in Vancouver for $30,000. Now it's $1 million plus. Yeah, there's a lot of places in the United States. It was probably 40,000 anyway in the 70s. Affirmative action has outlived its purpose. And I don't mean to sound racist, but I would concur with that. Does that mean that we shouldn't do more things to help the races unite? No. Does that mean that we should just throw, all of the people, all the black people, all the Hispanic, just throw them to the wolves? No. But I think affirmative action has done as much good as it can do, and we need to get to a point where we're not looking at color or religion or sexuality. We're looking at how good are you at this job, period. He said Canada is a great country. Not anymore, Bubba. Well, I hope it still could be. Booger, sorry I had to jump out for a bit. Now I'm back. That's okay. That's okay. PvP, problem that Canada is great compared to, say, Afghanistan or Gaza. Right on. Booger, the rise of the Canadian Caliphate. Not to be confused with what is her name? Mia Khalifa. Matt Cheatwood, LOL. I'm not even sure of that anymore. Canada used to have a great military. The damn liberals have destroyed it. Booger, we have to watch out with the Canadian Wexit. I generally like our neighbors to the north, but I'm not welcoming of their socialized functions or their monarchy. And I've got to say, I've never been a fan of monarchy, but I've never been less of a fan of it than since Charles has been king. I don't think he's been a very good king at all. PvP, cannot folks learn from history? There are never any easy fixes. No, there are not. Matt Cheatwood, there's an overwhelming evidence that raising the minimum wage only benefits those same companies that are owned by BlackRock. Here's the deal. We'll just use BlackRock so we don't get too far off the rocker. But you raise minimum wage, they can afford to pay it. The hardware store down the street that tries to help me out, they can't. They I don't know that they would close down, but it would sure hurt. The store down the road, Venture, if he raised minimum wage to $25 an hour, it wouldn't surprise me if that would break that store. 15, maybe they could take that. Maybe 25, I doubt it. They'd probably have to close, and then you'd have a small town that would have nothing but a Dollar General. That's a big corporation. That'd be the only thing we could go to, and they could probably handle that $25 an hour. Raising the minimum wage, according to Booger, raises costs and sometimes leads to higher unemployment. PVP says grocery prices have doubled on some items since the pandemic. People saying hello, hello. Booger, the problem with TikTok was the potential to be used for espionage. However, the method used to control it is very dangerous and led to backpedaling. PvP, I'd be in favor of breaking up YouTube if it could get more democratic again so they don't censor us. Amen. John Ponterero, they say that breaking up is hard to do. Now I know that it's true. Right on, Matt Cheatwood. The government is the biggest monopoly there is. Booger, I don't like monopolies. YouTube isn't a traditional monopoly, not the way AT&T was. That's a point. It's something to consider. PvP, capitalism is the best system humans have invented, but it's not perfect. Crony, capitalists, and monopolies. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Resolute Germ, Canada will be a great country again once they join us. Yeah, come on, Canada, come on, join us. Join the dark side. Charles is a stooge. That's it. Mia Khalifa. She is a prone star. Mia Khalifa. Mia Khalifa. And yes, it's sad that I actually know who that is. Though I haven't watched any of her prone, just some of her, YouTube videos. Go to this site and you can see more. I never went to that site because I didn't want to get the computer virus. She's not a star really, but she does do prone. PvP, he gave a speech in Parliament legitimizing the liberals. Prince Chuck is a moron. He flies like a moron. Sorry, weird joke. Resolute Germ, of course, Gorillas knows the prone star. PvP OnlyFans is even more dangerous. All those naked girls wanting my money. And that's why I don't go there. I'm afraid that if I ever do, I might just break down and go truly broke. PvP, we won't be a country anymore. Matt Cheatwood, we only want Western Canada. The Francophones can mind their own business. That is why we have this outrageous accent. And what you didn't want a CTD, you get it. It's a sex joke. Yes. All right. Well, I don't know if we came up with any solutions. I personally think the big solution is, first of all, let's defund some of these Ivy League schools. They've got enough money. We want to apply that principle to business, but we don't want to apply it to schools. I don't understand that. Let's, at least in some way, we should find a way to reduce tuitions and hopefully increase the quality of educations. I liked his idea of doing more for Votex because it seems like Votex is actually where you get the good jobs now, not colleges, or not as much colleges. I liked his idea of breaking down some of the tech monopolies. And I like that he points out a lot of these problems, but I do agree that some of his information is either incorrect or at least kind of dubious in the way that it's presented. But all in all, a good video, a worthwhile video. It's definitely information that we need to think about, especially those of us who are fathers or trying to raise the next generation, trying to take care of the next generation. We need to be thinking about these things and implementing them as best as we can. Let's look at the poll and then we will call it a stream. In theory, we didn't hit the goal, but I think with a $10 super chat and all those others, the other 3 super chats, that was definitely a worthwhile thing. And I hope you enjoyed Sean Connery singing Crazy Train. Let's take a look at the poll. Oh, we have a tie. We have you guys want either a watch party of 47 Ronin or a Q&A. I'm going to make the executive decision of doing the watch party of 47 Ronin because I feel more comfortable doing that than a Q&A. 22% had wanted to talk about Ryan Walters of Oklahoma. 33% of you wanted a Q&A. 33% of you wanted a watch party of 47 Ronin. 11% of you wanted Donkey Panda. So, oh, why am I going there? I've finally gone crazy. Indeed, I have. I've gone crazy. Let's get our own soft prone music going. I'm afraid I can't show you videos of Mia Khalifa along with it. I could probably show an image, though. Image of Mia Khalifa. I like this one. Oh, what the hell? That's not a Mia Khalifa image. Let's try this one. Well, I'll be danged. MiaKhalifa.com. Surely they've got a image. It's got age-restricted materials. All right. Never mind. I give up on that. We will call it a stream. I hope we've all had a good time. I know I did. Hi. Background all excited. Fine. You guys did pay for some good super chats. Let's share. If I'm smart enough to get it done. There it is. There's your site. Don't go there unless you just have way more money than I do. So we have soft prone music along with a soft prone star. Thank you very much to Connie Cleary. Thank you for showing up for the comments and for the super chat. If I remember right, you gave, what did you give? Let's look at the starred thingies. She gave a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Please check out her channel. She won't show you pictures of Mia Khalifa, but she will have wonderful videos of birds with soft, soothing music. And don't forget her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions, where she will share some crafty things that she does, especially for Halloween, along with some interviews, watch parties, stuff like that. This guy is a jerk. He looks at pictures of Mia Khalifa like every 5 years. I think it's been a few years since I looked at any. John Ponterero, thank you very much. You also contributed. He contributed a 99-cent super chat and a $1.99 and a 99-cent super chat. So thank you very much. I don't know why the thing says I didn't hit the goal because I've got 5 super chats here. But anyway, I did invite Sean Connery in to sing. So hopefully I held up my end of it. If not, well, you know. Scooby-Doo. Matt Cheatwood, the guy who inspired this particular episode and provided that video. Thank you very much. As always, you have very thoughtful comments. I hope you and yours are doing well, and I hope that you are having fun raising and eating the pigs. Words and pictures. Thank you very much. You got us over the top. You sent us $10 super chat so that I could get Sean Connery to sing. Thank you so much. Look at that. Just look at that. $10. Thank you. We've got Enigma Severus. Thank you very much. Another wonderful creator. Please check out his channel. He does movie reviews. He does tributes, and he's just all around good people. He's also got a channel that'll teach you Spanish. Got PvP, one of the people that shares the music that he loves. He painted that painting in his whatchamacallit, in his avatar. Creative person there. Check him out, especially when he goes on Gorilla's Censored Random Thoughts. Realway Nation Gaming Clips, thank you very much. I hope you are doing well. Scooby-Doo. DJ Ronnie G, check out him. He's got some informative and entertaining videos. I've learned a lot from listening to him. Check him out. Jeff B, thank you for showing up and for the kind comments. Scooby. Hello, Booger. You always elicit some very intelligent comments. Thank you for being here and for the thoughtful things. Realway Nation Gaming Clips, please check him out. He has some really fun gaming clips. Plus, he's just good people, and he made 38 videos. Wow, I need to up my game a lot, frankly. The government of Canada is destroying all of our futures. John Ponderero, 99-cent super chat. Connie Cleary, $2 super chat. I want to say that John Ponderero sent a 99-cent, $1.99, and 99-cent super chat. So thank you so much. Kapla, glory to you and your house. Gorilla's Random Thoughts. Thank you for designing my intro music. Thank you for all the information that you've shared and for having me on some of your panels. I know you would often allow me on all the time, but I'm always so busy. I'll be less busy for a while unless I start looking at too many Mia Khalifa pictures. Hail and well met, and thank you, Resolute Germ, another wonderful creator here, another member of several communities, but especially Gorilla's Censored Random Thoughts. He does his Saturday morning cartoons, and what else? He does something else, and he said it, and I've already forgotten it because I'm a big jerk. They fixed the XP, the cartoons, and the Monday Kaiju movies. So yes, when I'm done here, look up his Monday Kaiju movie and go over there. I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, or I would just set it up to send you guys there. And did I have anyone else? It seems like I'd had at least one more person. I know I did. In fact, I know who it was. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Maybe I should put, PG-rated pictures of Prone Stars up more. Maybe people would stay till the end of the videos then. can't put the good ones up because YouTube will knock me down. And Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf, another wonderful creator here. Check her out. She has poetry, novels that she's writing, watch parties, reviews of movies, and interviews. She's off and on with Mikey Susie 4 on Sundays doing watch parties, so check her out. Speaking of the young, it's one of the younger peoples in the community. Thank goodness we're not all just old fogies. Gonna gloat over that 99-cent John Ponderera super chat. Gloat, gloat, gloat. PvP, it's just John Wick in Japan. Okay, now there's a lot of chat that's gone on since I ended. Okay, Matchy Wood, become ungovernable. PvP, true, a lot of honeys put channels on Facebook advertising their OnlyFans. Gotta say, some of them are very cute. Still, I don't pay women to see them nude. PvP, I'm not sure what the answers are anymore. I'm not either, but that's why we have our dialogue. Hopefully we can come up, if not for solutions for everyone, maybe we can at least come up with solutions for ourselves or for our community. PvP, it's just John Wick in Japan. Gorilla's Random Thoughts took half the stream, but I sent my handy dandy homemade Hail Protector 3000 to you on X. Really? Let me see what we've got. He sent a photo. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to share this. Although it is hard to let go of Mia Khalifa, but you know what? She doesn't like me anyway, I'm sure. So here we have Gorilla's Hail Protection 3000. I thought that was awesome. And no, I don't have anything naughty on my Twitter today. Rizla Germ, I don't think you can use any of the stuff on her website anyway. Oh, that's probably true. Darn it. They'll probably nail me for it. Oh well, it is what it is. Good stream. The nose distracts me. PvP is actually kind of tired of all these young women parading around nearly naked just to manipulate lonely men to get their money. Oldest profession indeed. All right. At the top of the hour, Rizla Germ is sharing his video to Son of Godzilla. Right on, right on. Oh yeah, I need to make some emojis. Cassie, Sean Connery, Tulsi in a bikini. I definitely want to do Cassie. I want to do my logo. And yeah, Sean Connery and Tulsi in a bikini. Right on, right on. All right. And then PvP is asking if Gorillas is on later. I'll go ahead and do my extra. It's been said that life is pain. Anyone telling you otherwise is trying to sell you something. I, in fact, am trying to sell you something. Besides, selling you pointless songs from Sean Connery, I'm trying to sell you on the idea that you are smart enough, wise enough, capable enough to run your own life. You don't need big government, big corporations, or big education, or big tech to tell you how to think, what to say, how to live. And lastly of all, I would like you to know that you're not going insane. You're going sane in a world gone mad. Spoon!